All with motive, but lacking opportunity. Until the realization that someone had used a timer to set the fire. Isn't that right, Mademoiselle Farquhar?
Okay, so we are saying she did it.
Our true relation to the deceased. Cousins. Standing to inherit her entire family estate.
You don't understand. It wasn't like that.
You decided to poison her with potassium cyanide. A chemical often found in photography development. Via the cork of a bottle of champagne. Wearing an almost identical hat to the deceased, you were able to disguise yourself as her and be seen by the neighbor. Leaving her body lifeless in her own apartment. You tried to cover your involvement in both the forgeries and the murder by destroying any evidence. Incredibly clever. Your nefarious plan setting the fire almost tricked even I.
Did you really just praise her for starting a fire?
On the contrary, it was the deception behind the fire. A timer was used, allowing for Mademoiselle Farquhar to be seen in her office as she slipped in and out of the darkroom window.
I didn't want to kill her, but she gave me no choice.
She gave you no choice. You planned and executed a brutal murder. She was your cousin.
A cousin that has controlled me for years. I couldn't escape her.
She held you captive? I did not see a prison cell in her apartment.
Yes, because that's the only way to be held captive by someone.
No, of course she didn't. Emotionally and financially, I was her captive. I was a struggling critic. But she taught me how to stand up for myself and get what I wanted, what I deserved.
You were aware of her scheme all along?
Not at first. I didn't know she was selling them on the black market.
But even when you did find out, you didn't stop.
There was always a reason I couldn't. And what money I did get, she would hold for me. I couldn't remain under her control anymore. There was no other way.
Mademoiselle, there is always another way.
All I see is the student becoming the master.
Detective Inspector, perhaps it is time that Mademoiselle was escorted to the police station. The truth has been revealed, and Mademoiselle Courtsmythe's murderer will pay the price for her crimes.
The more I think about it, the more I think the time is a massive problem for this. Because it actually destroys everyone's alibi, pretty much. Like, you can't just go, oh, well, it has to be at this time, which seems to be what we're doing.
There is something you're forgetting, though.
If you think for a moment that the location of the original painting has slipped my mind.
Go on then, where is it?
It's one of the paintings. Self-portrait. I mean, it's not one of the titles. I was just wondering if maybe it's... I was wondering if maybe the title. I mean, my logic was the principal, wasn't it? Portrait of principal. Nature's power. And now I can't click. So that's the one I thought it was, so... That's not right. Okay. I don't think it's going to be sunflowers. We'll go with the nature's one. Nature's power.
In this very museum.
Yeah, we knew that.
If the original painting was to find its way into her portfolio, it would be returned to her after her exhibition has concluded. Meaning,
it would be delivered to her on a plate.
Exactement. She prepared one of her picture frames and made sure it would be in the restoration room.
What on earth is he doing?
You've got to be kidding me. It would take too long to remove the nails from the frame and hide it, surely.
The nails were sewn down, creating the illusion of being used correctly, when in fact the backboard was easily accessible. Hidden perfectly behind what Mademoiselle Courtsmythe deemed to be her masterpiece.
I never doubted him for a second.
The one that's not in the center.
Messieurs et mesdames, the penitent Magdalene.
Well, detective, you've solved both the theft and murder. I am rather impressed.
Finding the murderer and solving 2 thefts would have been far more impressive.
Oh, she's going to admit that she stole the cigarette case now. Okay.
2 thefts? You already have another case?
You have forgotten Mademoiselle Farquhar's missing cigarette case.
Oh, of course. Do you think Miss Farquhar lied about it going missing after all? Perhaps it really was worth something.
Mademoiselle Farquhar is far from an honest woman. Lies tripping from her tongue at every turn. But if our motive was indeed to fake theft and claim the insurance money, she would surely not have left it lying where Mademoiselle Babagnan claimed to have found it. Mademoiselle Babagnan's motive is now clear. How she pulled off such a cunning theft still eludes me. Something Hastings said has my little grey cells fired up. Nothing is ever quite what it seems. I suppose we are all forgeries or counterfeits in some form or other. Could Mademoiselle Babagnan have pulled the wool over my eyes in a similar way? I must return to the evidence from the ship with this new perspective.
She found it known that she would be caught. No, to be invited by Florence. This is something I was saying from the beginning. So she gained access to Russian heirloom, apparently. Okay.
It is you that should be happy, mademoiselle. With no effort at all, you are able to save the day with barely a second thought. You turned a stolen heirloom with a thief and a victim into nothing more than a misplaced item.
A case of being in the right place at the right time.
I do not believe in coincidence. You were where you were meant to be. Had you not boarded when you did, you would likely have not been invited to the gala at all. Or been able to be within touching distance of so many beautiful and historical pieces, including the silver mantle. One thing I have learned during my time here in London is that people portray a version of themselves. One to be seen or be met, and another that remains hidden from the world.
What are you trying to say, detective?
That there are some that wear a mask of authenticity. That perhaps, under different circumstances, I would have had the pleasure of meeting a different Mademoiselle Babagnan.
Will you be leaving London now?
There are a few small matters to settle before I leave. Mademoiselle Farquhar is now in the hands of the Scotland Yard, where she will stand trial for her crimes.
You really do believe in the law, don't you?
If you do not believe in the law, madness and lunacy will ensue.
And everyone should be punished for their crimes?
Oh, no, not breaking into people's, rooms.
I believe that we should be held accountable for our actions. No one man is above the law.
Or woman?
And you, mademoiselle? Are you to leave London?
There's nothing more for me here. I hear Paris is quite beautiful. Perchance our paths should cross again.
Perhaps, under those different circumstances.
Ooh.
I look forward to it, detective.
Well, that's that then.
Oui, monsieur. The cases are closed and Mademoiselle Farquhar will shortly be behind bars.
What of the others?
Judging by the detective inspector's glare at Monsieur Aylesworth, he will not be escaping the law. And Bishop Mountjoy. Once news spreads of his connection with the black market, I would question his attendance come the Sunday service.
I was hoping at least someone would get a happy ending.
Monsieur Hastings, you have been by my side throughout this investigation. Without you, the guilty parties, would not be facing the consequences of their actions.
I helped where I could, but it was mostly you. I know that.
What you may not know, and I would kindly request you keep to yourself, is that I consider myself somewhat of a...
Belgian.
Loner.
I would not go as far as that. but it appears you understand my sentiment.
Good thing I was around to save you from the gunman.
I fear I shall not live that down.
I'll maybe hold on to it a little longer. Not many can say they've saved the great Detective Poirot.
The great Detective Poirot. As much as I admire your formality, I think we should look for something more familiar, accustomed to our new relationship.
What are you talking about? In the books, they refer to each other by surname.
Our new relationship?
Yeah, we've just met.
I have seen the benefit of friendship. Connecting with someone that can be trusted and loyal. Someone that shares an authenticity not only in themselves, but in their beliefs.
And that's me. Detective Poirot and his trusted friend, Arthur Hastings.
It does have a certain charm to it, n'est-ce pas?
Okay, we got the credits. So fairly similar to the other Poirots we've played recently, the first cases, and even horror. That's Horror on the Orient Express is an RPG that I have and I really want to play, but I will probably never play pen and paper RPG, not a computer one. Murder on the Orient Express we've just played. It feels, you kind of, the stuff you have to do, you do all the stuff in the chapter, you move on to the next chapter. It's actually, I don't think it's not possible to fail. It just goes, no, try again, not that solution. Which in some cases, it's good to have that kind of simplicity, but it's also kind of nice to have the ability to fail in some of these games, that you're not, that even if you got to the end and you had to say who did it, and you kind of pair up the information and create links, I think I'm kind of basically saying I want the mind map from Crimes and Punishments. And I don't know if Devil's Daughter does something similar. I still haven't played that one yet. But I'm sure I'll get to it at some point. So that's to talk to. I think I commented this session that it had the same kind of problem as... No, it didn't. It didn't have the same problem as Murder on the Orient Express. But Murder on the Orient Express, the setting and the plot didn't... The times where it tried to move into 2023 didn't work. And other times it was just being in 1923. In this case, it felt like they wanted to hold on to some aspects of the Poirot stories, the Poirot books, but it didn't quite work because they were saying, "Oh, this is 1910." So I think that was there were a few problems there that it didn't work because they were trying to have the. In a lot of cases, it felt like they were trying to have the same relationship between Hastings and Poirot that you have in the books. But that's kind of slowly earned. Not slowly earned, but it's kind of, they spend time together and they interact. Whereas here, it just kind of feels a bit more that, oh, we're going to put these two together because they're together in the main stories, and so we're going to still have that relationship, and it's not earned because this is the first time they meet. Plot-wise, there's still part of me, I'm trying to think about it. Okay, so you remove the alibi, but if you go into the dark room and realise, oh, actually, you can open this window. You can actually open this window. That wipes out her alibi. I was thinking that. I don't think I actually said it, but that would wipe out the alibi. It's why I wanted to go into the dark room earlier. But that's not the point. It's she used this device. Like, surely just having the dark room, I'm gonna lock the dark room so you can't come in and disrupt my pictures, and then you sneak out the window and go out, and you could have the exact same thing without the messing around with the timing. Whereas the timing, because we don't know how long the candle would have burnt. We don't know how long till the fire starts, and clearly the fire had taken some time because it had spread to the door. So I don't like that. I think if they didn't have the timer, I think it would have been a bit more clear that everyone else's alibi was fairly concrete. Hers was, well, she went into a room. We don't think you can leave that room. But the timer thing, I think, actually opens everyone else up for it. I think if you then had the reveal early on of her motive, that she's actually related, have that be something that's talked about in the story. In the beginning when you're meeting everyone, and then it kind of comes out. I think Anastasia Babanian, I'd like to have, I think I wanted her to be more of a focus. It was better than the last time in the first cases. The first cases, the kind of tutorial kind of case, had nothing to do with the main case you were doing. In this one, there was that character, and she got to attend because of that, but it didn't really go any further. I think I would have liked to have seen maybe have that plot be somehow related to maybe if other items had gone missing from the museum, which they seem to suggest she was planning, and then that's why she wants to go there, and that's a bit of a red herring that takes you down a path, and oh right, okay, I think that might have been better in my view. But yes, I think there were elements I really liked of this. As I kind of have said, there's elements where I think still needed a bit more work. I don't know if they've done any more like this of the kind of first cases London case style. I'd probably still give them a go, although the style I don't think is necessarily great. As I said, I think the Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments kind of, you come up with different options out of thing, and then you have to try and match it up with other options, and actually that doesn't match up with this, so I've got to get one of them's wrong, so I need to think about it a bit more. I think that's better rather than, I've connected these two things, and that's wrong, or that's right, so that gives me this information that sometimes you stumble across, or you already think of. Like, there were several times I jumped ahead with a kind of, these two things, that means this. I actually have to input it in, and I've just jumped ahead, and that's kind of what's messed me up. So I think, I think we'd probably come back to this if there's more of these style. I do know there's another one, the ABC Chronicles. ABC Chronicles? ABC Murders. That's really bad. It's one of my favourite ones in the David Suchet series. It's one of my favourite stories. And I messed up the name. Good job, me. Which I'm sure we will get to at some point. But it depends what I put to the Patreons and what they vote on. Because if you want to have some impact on what games I Let's Play, you can join me on Patreon, link in the description, or you can become a member on YouTube, although I don't really post the polls there because I don't have any members yet. But that's up to you. You can just watch and enjoy. And I hope you have done with this series. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.